So, hey again. And so, what I'm wanting to speak to you about now is the afternoon session of day one. I didn't get to attend many sessions, unfortunately. We were like super busy at the demo booth stand. Lots of interest from customers, specifically wanting to know around the new performance management. And yes, there's some exciting stuff happening on the roadmap, specifically around things that are coming out. This whole story around the continuous feedback and coaching that's happening. So that's coming out on mobile next year. Yay. So have a look out for that. And lots of questions around what that means, etc. People doing away with performance ratings. So fielded quite a few questions around that area. But the session that I did attend was all around kind of accelerating your talent management through technology. So there's a great video by Stephen Hunt. So look it up. It is on YouTube, where he spoke to us around the kind of main aspects of that, and mainly also why it would be important for people to attend SuccessConnect. So he did this with Mark Brandeu. Well, anyone that like thinks that this guy actually needs to be a movie star, like just with a name like that. Anyway, so great kind of interaction, a really nice presentation style where they spoke around technology and how that can accelerate your talent management processes. And, it's something that, we always guard against because you don't want to throw technology to a problem. However, the analogy that they used was actually really pertinent. So they spoke about, the first question they asked is how do you actually, slam on the brakes when you're driving a car? And, it's like, put your foot down, like really hard. But when you think about it, you can only do that because of the ABS technology that's in your car. If you have to think a few years ago, you had to go through advanced driving and it would be a question about kind of pushing down your brake and kind of letting up and pushing down again, letting up, etc. And you have to do that in order for the brakes not to lock, car not to roll, and for it to be safe. But nowadays we've got EBD and we've got ABS and all sorts of interesting kind of things built into cars from a technology perspective. That means we don't actually have to think about those kind of things. So if an emergency happens or something happens, we have to react. We can just actually put our foot on the brake full force and the car will actually stop. So for me, that was like a really, really cool analogy, besides the fact that I used to work at Mercedes-Benz and I was always intrigued as to whether ABS actually works in reverse. It's a blonde thing, clearly. But anyway, it was a really, really cool analogy to be able to say that, technology is kind of around us and everything that we're actually doing. So why not actually make use of it from the point of view of talent management processes? So really loved the presentation. The one thing that he did say that just like got me like, what? So, I mean, for those of you who know me, I've kind of like got processes kind of imprinted in my DNA. I did both my theses were around process management. And, even the work that I did in Mercedes-Benz was really kind of process driven. And Steve just said to me, well, it's not about the process. And I was like, dude, like, what are you smoking? And he was like, well, what you need to do is kind of envisage where do you want your organization to be. Once you've actually done that, you can then start plotting your roadmap as to how to get there and address the pain points that's actually preventing you from getting there. So it's some actually really cool advice, I think, and something that I'm still mulling over. But I think we do get bogged down quite a lot with just ending up documenting process after process after process and never really getting to the actual efficiencies and achieving that kind of like dream organization where we need to be. Which ties in quite nicely with Mike Ettling's opening address as well, where he used the analogy that sometimes when you actually arrive at a customer, you walk out from the lift and you can just feel the energy. And the energy that is there and the excitement is actually due to the people. So for you to be able to create that atmosphere, you need to be able to not have to worry about how you slam on the brakes. You need to be able to just trust that technology is taking care of that little problem for you. And you're able to focus on the more important things like steering and going where you actually need to go. So some really cool advice. Check out Stephen Hunt's video. It is on YouTube. And thank you very much for listening.
Africa kukhala bangcwele